Yo, GIA. Woo. So you eat, and I'm going to talk to you. Captive audience. Thank you, Felicia, and thank you to the board members who have decided to serve another term. That's nice. And to the new board members, welcome. And Roberto is a board member who used to be a board member and is now a new board member because it's a long story. And you can ask Roberto about that. So I'm Janet Brown. I am one of your presidents and CEOs. The other one is Eddie Torres. And before I begin, I want you to acknowledge the blue, turquoise, whatever, teal, whatever color that is, envelope on your table. In that envelope, if you'd open it up, are census that we ask that you fill out individually, each of you, and then put them back into that envelope, and then our staff picks them up and tabulates them. So we do this because you ask us to, some of you ask us to, and we also do it because we've done it for a long time, and what we have is a baseline, and actually it helps us to kind of see where we're at. So thank you for that. There's also an app. I think that there's an address for an app on there, and you can do it through your mobile phone if you don't want to use the piece of paper. Okay. Sorry, it seems like I'm still eating my lunch up here. Service on the GIA board is demanding and time-consuming, and also takes patience and talent and gifts that you all have. This year we want to thank the 3 members who are leaving the board after serving a maximum of 2 3-year terms. And they are, if they could, now it's hard to see them because they can't stand, but you could stand and the people at your table could see you. So they are Maureen Knighton of the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation. Felicia Shaw from the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. And Laura Zucker, recently retired from the Los Angeles County Arts Commission. So thank you to these 3 truly amazing, incredible women. I just want to give a special shout out because I've worked so closely with them, to Felicia, who was chair of the nominating committee for the last few years, not an easy job at GIA, and to Maureen, who has been my partner in whatever, I didn't really want to say crime, but whatever, as chair of our Racial Equity and Arts Philanthropy Board Committee. Truly a fantastic partner. We've worked more closely than either of us probably ever wanted to or should have. But I want to thank her for her guidance, her wisdom, her patience, and her counsel. Thank you, Maureen. So this is my big time to give my final talk to you all, and I've written about 5 different versions of this speech, the last one being about 10 minutes ago. So, and this is where I'm supposed to give the State of the Organization talk, and I threw all of that out. And I'm just going to say this about all the great things that we're doing. Over the past 9 years, our membership has grown, our budgets have grown, our conferences have grown, and we've increased our visibility, our reliability, and our relevancy to the field. So that's the state of the organization. And if you have any questions about the details, you can ask Eddie. And then I thought, well, I'm going to give a big, long list of the lessons I've learned over the last 9 years from you all, and my perceptions of the field and all of that kind of stuff. And then I thought, no, I'm through. So I threw that out. And what I'm going to do, though, is write a blog about that. And so you'll have that in writing, and you can choose to read it if you want to. So instead, I decided to talk about me. I have truly had a blessed life, raised and educated in South Dakota, as you have heard over and over again. Thank you, Linda. Is that Linda? Yes, all right. I've had the privilege early in my career to work in major institutions for artistic icons like the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco with William Ball, like the Public Theater, New York Shakespeare Festival in New York City with Joseph Papp. And I toured the United States with theater productions in all the big cities. It was one of those limousine plane tours. Does that mean I have 10 minutes left? Oh, thank God. And I got to tour all the great cities of Europe with a theatrical tour as a general manager. So, you know, those were all pretty amazing things for me. And then I left New York City when I had my son and gave up my dream of being a general manager on Broadway. That was my goal in life at the time. And I had no idea where that journey would take me. It took me back to South Dakota, and ultimately, working throughout the Midwest with artists and arts organizations, people who are inspired by the land, by their sense of place, who give of their time and their resources to create opportunities for artistic expression in their communities, not because it's their job, not because they get paid for it, but because the arts, like high school football games and the churches they go to on Sunday, bring their community together to celebrate, to explore the possibilities of human expression. I know what it means to be an arts advocate, a lobbyist, a community organizer in places where the word art meant everything from saddle making to classical music. I ran a statewide advocacy and service organization and created leadership institutes and training for arts administrators from 11 states in the Midwest. Then my path changed again. My kids grew up. Dang, those kids grow up like, you know, in a minute. My husband left. Those things happen. And I felt I once again wanted to get back on the national stage, that I wanted to do something probably outside of South Dakota, in the Midwest. And then Grantmakers in the Arts came along. And I called Vicki Benson, who I barely knew, and I said, should I apply? And Vicki said yes. And then the headhunter called me, and I said, really, I don't think they want me. I really think they want a suit from Boston. Now, nothing disparaging about Boston. I don't know why I said Boston, but it's what I said. And she said, I don't think so. So here we are. And I am most proud of the work that we've done in the financial health of nonprofit arts organizations with our capitalization workshops, our policy work in Washington, D.C., lobbying on behalf of you and your grantees for arts education and other areas of the arts, our exploration of artists working in cross sectors in our communities, and our ongoing commitment to racial equity in arts philanthropy. And through all that work, I am the one who was blessed with your guidance, your questions, your courage, your tenacity to hold on to these important issues that have plagued the nonprofit arts sector for decades. We have only begun to make change, which is slow and sometimes challenges our patience. I am not a very patient person. These are areas I will continue to work in as I leave GIA and enter the new chapter in my life, which will include teaching, consulting, writing, being a mother to everyone I meet, and a lot of other things. Watching television. Oh, and I just wanted to know people I just wanted you to know, because I've talked about this on the podium before, that I am still boxing. I box once a week with my boxing coach, and I encourage all of you women who have not ever done that to get with it. It is the most fantastic thing. I'm on my second pair of gloves because I wore the first ones out. So, good. So I was thrilled when Eddie Torres was named the new president and CEO, and every day I am a bigger fan when I learn of his sensibilities, his sense of humor, his awareness of the field, and his ability to lead. And I'm now going to ask you to be a little patient with your association as it makes its greatest transition in our history. The Seattle office will close on December 15th. The New York office, located in the South Bronx, we're keeping our fingers crossed, will open sometime in January. The Seattle office staff will train the New York City staff. There will be a couple who will work remotely who will carry over. Jim will see that the winter reader gets published, and Jan will stay on to make sure that our 2017 audit is done. I am available whenever Eddie has a question and wants my advice. Did you hear that? Wants my advice. I will not call you Eddie. I promise. I promise. As a role model for good capitalization principles, GIA has a strong cash reserve, which was intended to be used for such a transition. We will utilize part of that cash reserve over the next 2 year period. There will be bumps in the road. No transition is ever perfect. We think this one is a really good one, and I think I'm going to write it up too, because it was well planned, and actually it's going as planned. So that's a miracle in itself. So please be patient as we set up the office and new staff in New York City and embark on new programs and ideas. GIA is not where it was when I took it on 9 years ago, and I expect it will be a different organization under Eddie's leadership. This is all good. Good change is good. There are so many people that I have to thank, I can't even really begin, and I promise myself I will not weep at the podium. So, certainly for those of you who have contributed to GIA's growth as funding partners, I am deeply grateful for your show of confidence. To all of those who have served on the GIA's boards and committees, I am grateful for your service, for the lessons you have taught me, for the patience, and for your counsel. Particularly the presidents that I have served under, who were Vicki Benson, Regina Smith, Roseanne Cleveland, Robert Booker, and Angelique Power. But I owe a special debt to the people I work with every day. There. Okay, yes, I have a theater degree. I was an actress. Okay, I can do this, people. Most of whom will be moving on from GIA at the end of the year, and I would like them to join me on stage. Okay, so wait, no, stop. So they are Kathy Lindenmeyer, Director of Development and Membership, Jan Bailey, Director of Finance and Operations, raise your hand. Noah Barnes, Membership Manager, Sujin Chan, Program Manager, Monica Thomas, Publications and Communications Manager, Steve Klein, Web and Knowledge Manager, and the incomparable Jim McDonald. Okay, now. Okay, so these, so thank them. Thank you. These are all artists in their own right. Most of them have an arts background and actually have been are artists today. Each one in their special way, making GIA an amazing, efficient, and effective machine. They did a great deal, and a great deal was expected of them. And they rose to every occasion. So I've been blessed with all of them, to have all of them in my life. And we are grateful for your support. But we also understand that without your confidence in us, there really is no reason for GIA to exist. We are a membership association. We are a community of practice. We have the good fortune, as does everyone in this room, to work in a field of arts and culture. We are privileged to walk every day with visionary artists and with passionate colleagues. And I have this friend who always says, "Who has more fun than we?" Nobody has more fun than we do. God bless you all, and thank you.